Hello, we have more Shakespeare for you today, which is a good thing because if we didn't, then I wouldn't be doing my job. We are still working on Henry IV, Part 2, and we get to hear again from King Henry today in Act 3, Scene 1, which started out yesterday with him telling his attendant, page, boy, servant, whatever, to go get Warwick and Surrey and bring them to his chambers, and then he's musing on the fact that he can't sleep. So then the Warwick and Surrey come back into the room and they're like, "Hey, how you doing?" He's like, "Good. Are you sleeping?" And they're like, "No." And he's like, "Good. Then you read the letters and you know how messed up our country is." And they're like, "Well, actually, maybe it's not that bad. Like we could make peace with Northumberland and everything would be fine." And King Henry says, "Oh, heaven, that one might read the book of fate and see the revolution of the times make mountains level and the continent, weary of solid firmness, melt itself into the sea. And other times to see the beachy girdle of the ocean too wide for Neptune's hips. How chances mocks and changes fill the cup of alteration with divers liquors. 'Tis not 10 years gone since Richard and Northumberland, great friends, did feast together, and in 2 years after were they at wars. It is but 8 years since this Percy was the man nearest my soul, who, like a brother, toiled in my affairs, and laid his love and life under my foot. Yea, for my sake, even to the eyes of Richard, gave him defiance. But which of you was by? You, cousin Neville, as I may remember, when Richard, with his eye brimful of tears, then checked and rated by Northumberland, did speak these words, now proved a prophecy. Northumberland, thou ladder, by the which my cousin Bolingbroke ascends my throne. Though then, heaven knows I had no such intent, but that necessity so bowed the state that I in greatness were compelled to kiss. The time shall come, thus did he follow it, the time will come that foul sin gathering head shall break into corruption. So went on, foretelling this same time's condition and the division of our amity. So this personally for me is kind of an interesting monologue. I mean, it's an interesting monologue anyway because it does point out how quickly alliances and friendships can be built and fade away and turn to bitter enemies. But this one is also kind of interesting to me because I did a production of Richard II, being the Richard who is referenced in this. Richard II, then Henry IV Part 1 and Henry IV Part 2 are considered kind of a trilogy, even though they weren't written in that order. But chronologically in British history, that's how they happened. And when we did this Richard II, I played the Queen, Richard's wife, and just because of the way that they cut that particular script, I was the one that got to say to Northumberland, thou ladder, by which my cousin Bolingbroke, that sort of thing. So those are words that I've said before in actual play context. So it's interesting for me for that. But yeah, they're all like, things will be great if we just stay the course and stay on things and do what we're doing and maybe try to settle stuff out. Things will be fine. And King Henry's like, nope. Tomorrow we get to hear Warwick's response, so that'll be fun, and I will see you then for that. Mwah.